Hlavní část programu nám dnes začíná v 9 hodin a předvede se nám seskupení Sissy. A já už tu vítám, let me introduce you the main actress Dylana Phillipse and Jordana Harta. Nice to meet you. And also the director, if I can say it, it's Joshua Hoare. Nice to meet you too. So you came to the Czech Republic to show your show. So what was your first feeling or after the first show yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, we have been here once before, so it's really a pleasure to be back. Me and Jordan were here with the Displaced, and Josh was here as well with the Displaced, what, in 2017? 2018.
5 years ago.
So it's kind of magic to be back. The work is very different to... Oh, I need to cough, sorry.
So I'll take it. Oh, it's okay. So you said that it's been like 5 years since your last visit. So, and you mentioned also that there are huge changes. If you should point it out, what kind of changes are there or are here?
I guess the work is a bit more intimate than the last one. So when we were here last time, it was with 7 people on stage and Josh here on the directing field. So then there's 8 of us together in a team, whereas this work is as acrobatic and as virtuosic in many ways. So there is a lot going on physically, but the story is much more an intimate story between the two of us on stage. And so there's a lot more kind of a personal relationship that is displayed much, which is different to the last show, which was much more of a bigger picture between a group of dynamics between the people. Yeah.
Maybe another question will be for you. So how hard was it to create it to this stage in Trutnově in UFO?
I think it's certainly difficult, but it's a difficulty that you enjoy and you love and you live for, actually. This project was an interesting one to direct because the vision was really these two, and especially Dil was really involved in making directorial decisions along the way. So it was a particular type of direction for this one. But in terms of difficulty, it's certainly very difficult, but we love it. That's what we live for.
And I've heard from yesterday that there was a magic moment with water. So please, can you be like more... Can you describe it? What happened in the stage to all of us?
I can describe it, and maybe Jordan can give away a bit of the trick and reveal. We, the end of the piece, so in the middle of the show, or just before the kind of final chapter of the work, we have a very, very acrobatic piece where I'm jumping all over Jordan's chest and landing on him very aggressively until he kind of lays there, laying on the floor. And I bathe him eventually. There's a bucket of water, and I kind of bathe him and dress him, and I end up laying on top of him with a wooden board between us, which is quite a sad moment in the work. But it's not necessarily a death, but there's meaning behind it of this longing or loss that is there. But then at the end of it, Jordan does spit in my face with the water, which kind of alludes back to the silliness and the playfulness of the early on in the work. And Jordy, you can give away how we do it while I'm bathing you. What do I do?
So using the cloth, the rag that he's just washed my sweaty, dirty body with from laying all over the floor, he gets that rag and he soaks it in the water bucket, and then he kind of hides my mouth from the audience with his body, and then he squeezes that rag of dirty water into my mouth, and then I hold it in my mouth for
10 minutes
for nearly 10 minutes, and then I spit it at him after at the right moment. Of course.
So the water for 10 minutes in your mouth. Wow.
The first time we did it, I didn't do such a good job of getting water into his mouth, but we were halfway through a run, so he had to do it anyway. So there was, I would say, less water and more spit, whereas now it's a bit more water and less spit, which is nice.
But yes, of course, it shouldn't be like all about that trick. So what is the hardest thing that you have to do in that stage during this show?
For me personally, it's having Dylan jump all over me. I have to be very careful with my ribs because I'm taking 60 kilograms onto my rib cage and my stomach. So it's about turning on the right muscles in my stomach and ribs to make sure that there is a solid platform for him to land on without breaking any bones or dislodging any ribs or anything. So that's probably the hardest piece for me, is to sit back and kind of take a pretty high level of pain for an act.
Thank you. And my last question would be not about the show, but about because we're near the mountains, Krkonoše. Did you have time to visit it, or are you planning it?
This time around we have been quite busy, so we haven't been up the mountains, but we have been there before. Last time we were there, we rode the scooters. You know the scooters. This is incredibly fun. It's also dangerous, so we probably shouldn't do it just before our show. But we had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah.
So you hope there will be no injuries through the scooters.
Hopefully no scooter injuries.
So would you like to add anything that we forgot to mention about your show, about your staying in here in Trutnov? Yeah?
We just love to thank UFO and Libor and the whole programming team for having us at the festival. It's such a wonderful festival to be at, and there's this beautiful relationship as well between Australian Circus and UFO, and also to the production team, to Radek and Ondra and all the team who've been so supportive over our process, and to Pavlina as well for her production support. It's really lovely to perform at a place where you have an emotional connection as well. And we really want to thank Libor and the team for that.
So thank you. And also thank you for the interview. Thanks, Laurel, and good luck in your show.